joining our thank you for joining our webinar that we'll be doing on the radiant recovery and how to empower you through your bariatric journey. So as you would have seen in the flyer, Jo has she has had the surgery, and she's going to share some of her insights around how she felt pre-op, during the op, and what she's been doing post-op to ensure that her recovery is radiant. So Jo, if you can take it away, and I'll just share my slides so that.
No problems. Thanks, Michelle. Thank you so much for inviting me along. And ladies, thanks so much for giving up your time. So my name is Jo Blowfield. Currently at the moment, I'm 49 years old, about to turn 50 this year. Whoop, whoop, 50. And I have been, I didn't think of myself as an overweight child. I wasn't an overweight child, but moving into my teens, I was pretty active. So I think that my weight issues through my teens were kind of disguised because I did a lot of sport. And what happened was that when I met my husband has got he's got a high metabolism. So he can graze all day, he can eat these massive meals, and I tried to keep up with him. And through keeping up with him, I realized I don't have a high metabolism, but he certainly does. And through the time of probably about 23 through to 2 years ago, I had tried everything for weight loss. I had tried cabbage soup diet, I tried the lemon cleanse, I tried Weight Watchers, I had tried absolutely everything. I even tried the going and getting hypnotized. So the lady hypnotized me, put me through having like the surgery so that my mind had thought I had. It lasted for about 3 months and was really good. But then when I stopped seeing her, that kind of didn't work. So I've tried everything for it. And I looked at weight loss surgery I think it was about 6 or 7 years ago. And I said to my husband that I really wanted to have a go at it then. But back then it was like $40,000 to get it done. And my husband and I went along, and at that time too, they were only talking about the I think it's the lap band, and they said that I would only lose about 15 kilos. So at that point, my husband said to me, look, why don't you just try it yourself, and why don't you just see if you can do it by yourself without any help? So for the next sort of 6 years, I struggled really hard. I tried really hard. I tried everything. I tried the 800-calorie diet. I tried fasting. You name it, I tried it. And it didn't work. And then just before COVID, a couple of my friends had actually just gone and had the weight loss surgery, one who lived quite close here. And so I just kind of followed her through her journey and saw what it was like for her. And so I looked into it. So I looked at every single podcast. I looked at every Facebook group. I looked online and I researched it. And I just thought to myself, this is something that I really want to do. I went to my husband, and I took my husband because my biggest hurdle was going to be my husband and getting my husband and family on side with what I was wanting to do. And so I went to my husband and I just said to him, look, this is what I'm wanting to do. But I'd never actually talked to him about the reasons why I was wanting to do it. And I don't know about any of you, but I just walked him through how it felt to be in my body at that time and where my mindset was. And I just walked him through. I said to him, do you realize that when I get changed in the morning, you see me try on 3 outfits? You get a little bit annoyed because I'm late because I'm trying on 3 outfits. But what's going on in my head is that I'm putting on an outfit, I'm looking at myself and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like your hips stick out in this outfit, or oh my gosh, your boobs look saggy, and oh my gosh, you look just so overweight, or oh gosh, that colour reflects on your double chin. And I said to him, so that's why I just go round and round and round with putting my clothes on in the morning. But then I said to him, but then you don't understand that if we go out, if we go into a coffee shop, my my brain is going, you know, alert, alert. Are they looking at the fat lady that's coming in the door? And I said to him, when I look at the tables, I look, are they too close to each other? Am I going to be able to squeeze in between these tables? And I said, then I look at the seat and go, am I going to break the seat if I sit on the seat? And I said to my husband, this is what goes through my mind every second of every day. I'm continuously fighting against myself. And my husband just said, that's it, let's just book you in, let's get you in for the weight loss surgery, let's go have a look at it. And so it was a major breakthrough for him just to get an understanding of where my head was at. So what happened was we were just starting to kind of come out of COVID. So we were sort of in COVID, coming out of COVID. And I went to my doctor and I talked to my doctor and I asked her what she would advise for me to do. And so she rang around and found a couple of doctors that were doing it. And so I just called them up and asked them when was their earliest appointment. And I was just saying before that a lot of them said that the earliest appointment was sort of 12 months. So that meant that it was sort of a 12-month wait to even get in to see the surgeon. And I was just like, you know, I started getting really anxious. I was wanting to do this. So I kept calling all the time, asking for an earlier appointment. So I got an earlier appointment. Somebody cancelled. I got an earlier appointment. So I went along and I actually went to John Murrow at Discover Weight Loss. And I went in and I had a chat with him. And he gave, you know, it was that choice between, do I go for gastric sleeve or do I go for bypass? And to be honest, I didn't really know much about either of them. I was kind of relying on him, but I'd heard that, you know, the sleeve had less sort of long-term implications, whereas the bypass, you know, it was sort of it was a lot more in depth. So I decided to go for just for the sleeve. And then he told me that it would be sort of another 12 months before I could get in to get it done. And I was just saying before that what was going through my mind was just, I can't last 12 months. This is never going to work for me going for 12 months. How much weight am I going to put on? You know, I can't do this. And so I called every single Monday. I got to know Sarah, the receptionist, very well because every Monday I would call her and I would just ask her, is there a space that's come up? Has anyone cancelled? And because of COVID, people started cancelling their appointments. So my appointment started getting closer and closer and closer. And so I ended up getting an appointment in 3 months' time, but it ended up hitting. My husband had just had a big accident, so he just dislocated his knee. We just bought a house and we were just about to move. So it ended up happening that he just dislocated his knee. We ended up moving, and 2 weeks later, I went in and had the operation. So it was like this, it was a crazy, crazy, crazy time. I was really nervous because it was COVID. They wouldn't let me have anyone go in with me for support. So my operation was at 7 o'clock in the morning. So my husband dropped me off at the clinic at 5 o'clock in the morning by myself, my little mask on and everything. And yeah, I was really, really scared. I was so scared. But I was kind of excited at the same time. But you know, you know that things are going to change. But for me, I still didn't have kind of a grasp of how much my life would change from it. And so I went in and I had the operation, and I met a lady through the Facebook group who was having the operation. She was going through Discover Weight Loss at the same time as me, and she was actually having the operation. Her operation ended up being an hour after mine. And so we ended up going in and kind of supporting each other through the next couple of days. That first day for me was pretty vigorous. I was really sick, cold shaked, just felt really, really horrible. And then I remember the food that they brought in, and I was just thinking, that is just terrible. That is horrible, horrible food. But anyway, I managed to get out. So I was in there for, I think it was 2 nights, and then I came out and went into, my husband was at work, luckily at home. And so then I went into recovery at home. And one thing that was a saving grace for me was that a friend who had already just been through the weight loss journey, what she did was that she actually cooked me a whole heap of little, it was fish pie and cheese pureed into these little containers for me that she had frozen, and she brought them over, and it was actually a saving grace for me because I'd done no prep. I'd done nothing. And I think back now and I think to myself, I really should have got myself more organized, but with moving house and having my husband with a dislocated knee, I did no prep. So it was actually a saving grace for me, having that little pot of fish pie and cheese, and it just tasted so good. What happened too was that before I went into the operation, what I did do was I did research and have a look at what products I should be using. And so what I did was I got a couple of things signed off by my nutritionist. I got them signed off by my anesthetist, and I got them signed off by my surgeon as well to say that I could take these products before the operation, during the operation, and then into recovery, which was fantastic. And so I did that. But after the operation, I found out that I had the Helicobacter pylori, I think it is, which is the bacteria that affects 50% of the population. And so what happened was, with finding out that I had that, they gave me antibiotics like you wouldn't believe. So I had this really small tummy trying to fit in all these antibiotics. It was like, I think I had something like 8 lots of antibiotics to take in the morning and then 8 lots at night. But what happened was that it really hit me with my sleep. So I couldn't sleep. And because I couldn't sleep, I got really upset and really annoyed and really angry, and it was really tough. So I ended up on those antibiotics for close to 3 weeks just to get rid of that bacteria. So after that happened, I then went through the journey of trying to deal with going into my new life, of having to eat these small... I've got a family that just love food. My family absolutely adore food. And so it was so tough for me to sit there eating this little fish pie and cheese while my family were having these really delicious meals. And it just played with my mind so much. It was unbelievable how much it played with my mind, to the fact too that I did actually have to remove myself from the room while they were eating, and I couldn't be around them when they were eating food, because I just had this voice inside me that was just going, you can't eat, it's not fair, you can't eat, your family can, they shouldn't be eating that food, they should be eating a small pot like you. And it just really played on my mind. So I actually ended up having to remove myself from my family while they ate. And so I went through the journey. So I was all right for that kind of first 3 months. And then when that 3 months kind of hit for me, was when everyone had warned me about it, but they didn't really brace me for it, was when my hair started falling out. It was, I reckon, one of the most traumatic events in my life was when my hair started falling out. I've always had long hair, and I've always loved my hair, and it just came out. Can I just ask, who here, could you put in the chat if you are pre-surgery? Just put a 1 in the chat if you're pre-surgery. Put a 2 in the chat if you've had the surgery. And put a 3 in the chat if you are sort of 12 months past having surgery. Oh yeah, so we've got a little mixture. Yeah. So yeah, nothing kind of prepared me for my hair falling out like it did. My husband came to me and said to me, "What is going on with your hair?" He said, "It's not just 1 or 2 pieces." He's like, "It's big clumps and it's everywhere in the bathroom, everywhere." So I reckon I lost 3/4 of my hair. I lost all my eyelashes. Well, not all of them. I reckon I lost about 80% of my eyelashes as well. Even my eyebrows thinned out, everything thinned out. I actually stopped washing my hair because I was so nervous of it that when I washed it, just the amount that would come out of my hair. So I stopped going to the hairdresser as well. And my hairdresser is actually one of my friends. And she actually came and saw me and she said to me, what is going on? I haven't seen you. What is happening? You know, what's happening with your hair? And I just said to her, it is falling out. I don't want to come and see you because I'm not washing it, because every time I wash it, the amount that's in the towel, the amount that's in the shower is just huge. And she said to me, what you've got to do is you've got to wash it every second day, and you've got to get these products onto it. So we devised a plan of products of Nioxin and Kerastase Genesis. So I mixed those two. I did every 2 days, I started washing my hair, that, and also to a product that Michelle has got, which is collagen. So Michelle has got this little bottle of collagen that I also used as well, and I upped the collagen. So I did 2 bottles of collagen a day, and I did those hair products, and my hair has, like, look at it, it's just come back in full force. I've got all these little bits in here though that are really short, that are growing back, but it is finally coming back. So I was so happy with that, but no, nothing prepared me for that. One of the biggest things too that I found is that in that first 12 months, you know, it's so easy to just get on the scales non-stop all the time. I found myself that I was jumping on the scales every 2 days, and I was looking at it and I was going, oh, I haven't lost any weight. Oh my gosh, I've gone up 500 grams. Oh my goodness. Or when I'd lost weight, it was like, woohoo, I've lost some weight. And so what I actually did with my nutritionist is that she actually said to me not to go on the scales anymore, but actually to pick a dress that was relatively small size compared to where I was, and try that dress on once or twice a week and gauge how my body is going through wearing that, through trying that dress on rather than on the scales. And the minute that she did that, so much changed for me in my mindset. So much changed. I stopped looking at the scales all the time, and I just went on how baggy my clothes were and how close I was to fitting that dress. And it was just an absolute lifesaver for me through the journey as well. So just so that you know, through my whole journey, I did no exercise. I disliked exercise before the operation. I really disliked exercise through the whole time. And it is only just now that I've actually said to myself, I've only just joined a gym a month ago. And the reason for that is that, as I said to you, I disliked exercise. But at the time when I was going through that sort of first 12 months of the honeymoon period where, you know, weight is just falling off, I actually didn't want to deal with going to the gym as well. It was like an extra thing for me that I just didn't want to deal with. So I parked it. What I did do though was I just made sure I walked as much as I possibly could, or got active as much as I possibly could. So I was doing about 7,500 to 12,000 steps a day. 7,500 was kind of my lowest. 12,000 was kind of my top. And I just decided that instead of going to the gym and things like that, I would just do my walking, and that was it. So I've started the gym now. So now I'm currently coming up to October 2024. It will be 2 years since I've had the surgery. I have found that when I first started, my heaviest weight that I got to was 117 kilos. When I started with the weight loss, I was 101 kilos. And now I find that I have kind of plateaued out. So I range between 70 and 72 kilos now, depending on what time of the month it is as well. And so I've found now that what I've got to do is just into that maintenance. And so coming from out of the 12 months, it's been an even bigger mind game for me from after 12 months to now. And just how tall am I? Somebody's asked how tall I am. I'm 5'4". So I'm still actually overweight on the BMI scale. But what happened was that I got down to, my lowest weight that I got down to was 66 kilos. And at 66 kilos, the comments started. The whole, you look very thin, you look really gaunt. my daughter, who's a teenager, who's just turned 20, said to me, "Oh, Mum, very shortly you're going to be the same weight as me. I don't know if I want you the same weight as me." And so I thought to myself, where do I actually want to be? And so I thought to myself, when I was doing my weight loss journey, where did I kind of actually like my weight? Where did I feel good? And I thought to myself, actually, around that 70 kilo mark is where I feel really good. So I feel like now I've kind of just stayed at a really great weight, really happy with my size, happy with my clothing size, and kind of happy with how I feel too. I've got lots of energy. So things that have changed in my life since having the surgery is that I'm active. Like, even though I said I don't like exercise, I am now coaching 2 netball teams. I am also coaching a soccer team. In October, my husband and I went overseas and we did a 5-hour hike of the Great Wall of China. But I would never, ever have done that 2.5 years ago. I would have just laughed at him and just said, absolutely not. And I have just absolutely loved, I've loved it. A couple of things that I would have loved to have done is that I do think to myself sometimes I would love to have done the surgery when I was younger, because I think the lifestyle that I've got now is just so good and has just changed so much that I think to myself I would love to have done it earlier. But it has been one of the best things that I have ever done for myself. I do think to myself too that I've spent a lot of my family's money, so I want to make sure that it does work. But it is one of the best things that I've done. And Bridget and Michelle have really helped me through the journey as well, especially with their little collagen, because everyone talks about collagen, and their little collagen is 5 grams of protein per little bottle. So I was doing 2, so I was thinking 10 grams of protein, done, brilliant. And then they've got another little, I take every day, so I take without a break ever. I always take my bariatric vitamins. So I always take my bariatric vitamins, and I always take that NRF2 that Michelle and Bridget have got. I'm just looking, there's just a question there. I'll just, should I just have a look at that question? Jo, when you said you tried lots of things before surgery, did you try things and lose weight and then put it back on? Yes, I did. I tried fasting where I lost probably 20 kilos. And then through COVID, it like doubled when it came back on. So every time I would try it, I would lose a certain amount, and then there would be that voice inside my head that would go, oh, you've lost the weight. You can just have a bit of chips. You can have this. You can have that. That's all right. It won't matter. And then it just crept back on. And so, yeah, I did. I tried everything. And by far, this has been the best. And, people have made comments to me about, oh, you got it easy, you've had weight loss surgery, oh, you don't know what it's like. And it's like, hang on a second, I've chosen a lifetime. This isn't just a one-off thing. This is a lifetime thing that I've chosen. And it's not just for me too, it's a lifetime for my family as well. So, by far, it's not the easy way out. You're in it for life. One of the things that happened to me too was that when I had the surgery, they repaired a hernia right where my stomach starts. And so with repairing that hernia, what's actually happened is that over time, scarring has actually occurred. So it's actually gotten a bit tighter. So what I'm finding now is that if I can't eat big pieces of steak or chicken, and if I do, I have to have it cut up really small, or I have to have sauce on it, because otherwise it just ends up coming straight back up. So I now carry in my car little doggy bags, so that if we've been out somewhere and I need to throw up, I've got doggy bags in my car or in my handbag ready for it. And that's just the reality of having the surgery and having that scarring at the top where I had the hernia. Also, too, one of the things that they didn't prepare me for was after I'd had the surgery, I had the shakes, the drink, and the sugar in it hit me like you wouldn't believe. And I was on the toilet for 2 hours with the stomach cramps and everything like that. And so what I found over time is that if I have anything really sugary, it just hits me really badly and I end up on the toilet. And so I just have to be mindful of making sure that I don't have too much sugar. So those are some of the things that have just come from having part of the surgery. I'll just read this. It's from Missy. I am having surgery next month. I'm worried about reaching menopause in a few years and regaining the weight. Is this something you'd have to go through yet? I'm in perimenopause. And so I have found that I haven't had to worry about putting on the weight as much as some of my other friends who are going through menopause. But again, I've got really good things that are supporting me through it, such as the collagen, such as the vitamins, and such as the NRF2. So I haven't really found that I've actually put on a lot of weight, actually, the perimenopause weight. So I haven't found that yet. But also too, one of the things is that I've found that I can control my weight a lot more now too, with making sure that I hit my protein goals, making sure that I'm drinking my water, making sure that if I'm starting to snack on things as well that I shouldn't be, that I pull it back in. And it's a lot easier to do it now than it ever has been in my whole life. So it's exciting though, Missy, that you're going to be having surgery next month. I just can't begin to tell you just how much it changes your life and how much it has changed my life for the better. I just asked my 15-year-old daughter today, what was I like before surgery and what am I like now? And she just said to me, you're like a different person, Mum. She said, you come to every game I'm ever at. She said, you do everything that you possibly can for me now. And she said, before, she said, Mum, she said, you wouldn't want to come to my games. I'd ask you if you wanted to come for a walk with me. I'd ask you if you wanted to do things with me and you didn't want to do it. And so, to hear her say that I'm far better now too is kind of like a big tick for me. So now I'm, into maintenance, making sure that I stick to it. And it is by far the hardest part of the whole process. This part now that I'm in, which is maintaining and just making sure that I'm hitting my protein goals, I'm drinking my water, and I'm doing what I need to do to make sure that the weight stays off and that I don't go back into those old habits that I was in, because it is really easy to do it, to slide back in, but you've just got to play the mental game and just be really mentally tough. So I think that's sort of about it for me. Does anyone have any questions other than the ones that have been shared in the chat?
Okay, I'm just going to share the screen again, and these are just those before photos, just so that you can see some of what you experienced. This is her during photo.
This was on surgery day. This was me just before surgery, the black, and then the grey was actually on surgery day when I took those photos. I feel like it's a different person. And that's me on the Great Wall of China. That was like 5 hours of just continuous walking. I would never, ever have done it, a couple of years ago. I just think how much energy I've got now. And thankfully my hair's growing back too. Thanks to Michelle's products, my hair's growing back. I think there's a question in there already. Headaches. Did you suffer many headaches? Really, I only really had headaches on days when I didn't drink my water. When I wasn't drinking my water and doing my protein. But other than that, I haven't really suffered with headaches. Janine, how far along are you? Are you in pre-surgery, post-surgery? Pre. Well, thank you. Was that?
Yeah, sorry, I'm on pre. I'm due to see John Morrow at the end of August.
Right. Okay.
But because I've suffered quite severe migraines, but I seem to have got them under control now, and I've stopped dairy and gluten. That's probably my only fear of those coming back fiercely.
Okay, yeah, just make sure that you tell John about that. What I have found, though, is that things that I had wrong with me sort of pre-surgery, like aches, I had a lot of stomach issues as well. A lot of things have subsided with me losing weight. And so it'll be interesting to see if those actually subside from you losing weight.
Yeah.
Because it's incredible to, I didn't realize how much the weight was actually loading on my joints.
Yeah.
Yeah, until I've lost the weight. And I think it was because with Discover Weight Loss as well, they have a nutritionalist, and then they also have a PT who helps you as well.
That's
and
what I liked about them. Yeah.
Yeah, and their support afterwards is really amazing as well. But he told me that for every kilo that you've got extra, it's like 10 kilos on your joints.
Yeah, because I've currently I need a knee replacement, but they won't do it.
Yeah.
My BMI is too high and the risk of infection's too high. And it doesn't help because I'm short. I'm 4'11".
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see, how you go.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. I think there's somebody said here, I'm having surgery next month. I'm worried about reaching menopause. Oh, we've done that one.
I think those are all the questions so far, and then we're just going to run through the last of it, and then we can give you guys some time to think of any questions that you might have. And at the end of the slides, we will have a Q&A, because I know Bridget's got a couple of questions that she wants to ask as well. So just so that we can, yep.
You want to take off that slide there, Michelle?
Yep, I'm going to do that now. So we're just going to quickly, I'm just going to quickly run through a very basic overview of the products that Jo spoke about that we have obviously helped her with. And as mentioned, when you go on this journey, it's very much a lifestyle environment, that plays a huge part in it. And what we bring to the party is how we're going to help you with your genetics, with your nutrigenomics, which is how food affects your body. So this is what the True Science Liquid Collagen does. As Jo said, it's a small little bottle. It tastes amazing. Bridget, do you have a bottle there that you could just show everyone? If you just,
it's 5 grams of protein in each bottle. So at the time when I was taking my when I was doing my surgery, you couldn't actually get this in New Zealand. So I actually ended up importing it from America to bring it in, because I'd heard that on the journey of bariatric, one of the big things that is really good is collagen. And so I actually bought it in, and I must say it has been incredible, that collagen. I do take the protein with collagen as well, but it's nothing compared to this liquid collagen. It is pretty amazing.
Yeah, and obviously you're all very aware of how important collagen is, and not all collagens are the same. There's a lot on the market, but it's very important that we focus on what kind of collagen you put into your body. And this collagen has got 10 peptides, which is important because it targets many different areas other than just your skin, your hair, your nails. It's your joints, your eyes, your liver, just everything, as you can see on the screen. And then you can also see, so it activates your body's ability to produce its own collagen. So you're not just dumping collagen into the body and hoping that it gets to where it needs to go. You're actually helping your body start producing its own collagen as well as maintaining it. So increases collagen by 100%. There's no other collagen that can make that claim. And then 2 products together, as Jo was saying, is the liquid collagen, which is obviously a no-brainer, and then the NRF2, which works on oxidative stress. So that is going to reduce inflammation in your body. And that's huge for as you go into the surgery, during the surgery, and after, because the more you can reduce the inflammation that is going to affect you, the more you are going to be able to be mobile, the quicker you are going to recover, and the better your body is going to do. So it's important, these 2 products together, our formulators have said it's taking one product and ending up with 3, because you've got results that are just next level, that affect every single cell in your body.
So I took these before, during and after, and so I got, so John Morrow actually signed these off for me, the nutritionist signed them off, and so did the anesthetist as well, signed them off to say that I could take them before, during and after the operation, which was huge for me to be able to do that, because I love them. I think, I love these products. I think that they just have really helped, especially I think with my hair coming back and things like that.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, it's important to take collagen, but it's important to take a whole holistic view of looking after your body from a cellular level. It's about giving your body, you take it to make it. So you're giving your body something, and it's then activating your body to be able to produce its own antioxidants, collagen, you name it, it does it. So it's important. It's not just another supplement. This is not another supplement. It is an activation tool. So then we've got the healthy glow stack. It's also important because the collagen helps with your gut, especially for you as you're going through surgery that is affecting the gut and is directly impacting it. This product is going to help balance that. And here's some before and afters of people that have been using the product. So day 1 and day 20, you can see the difference in their stomach and their, in everything in their skin.
I have to say too, for losing 40 kilos, my skin isn't anywhere near as saggy as I thought it was going to be, actually, and with no exercise too. So I've seen a massive difference.
Yes, we've had some amazing results with these products. As you can see, just by taking the collagen, within 8 weeks, you notice a difference. Most people notice a difference within 10 days where their skin starts brightening. So just want to run through it. Your eyes are also 90% collagen. So you can see in that one picture, your eyes will brighten too. And you can see the difference in the neck, because that's important, especially when you lose weight at a rapid rate. And then just more, and these are just all the products that we currently have on. So we're a company that is publicly traded. We're well known. We've been around for a long time. So it's not just one of these fly by nights. We put a lot of research and development into these products because we know that people need them. So just if you need to know anything, I'm here. But any questions?
I have to say too that Michelle and Bridget have been so good at supporting me through this journey and helping me. And, I think to myself that I'm going to be on these products for the rest of my life. I'm not going to come off them because I've seen the benefits. So just like my bariatric pills, I will be on these for the rest of my life. And I love them so much. But I also just love the support that Michelle and Bridget have given me through my journey.
Amy, Jess, if you want to send me your email address, or you can send us your email address, we'll be able to send you that. Chantal, if you just want to give the email address, and we'll happily send you that information as well.
I'll just jump back onto the Zoom with everyone's faces, Michelle.
No problem.
Yeah.
And then Bridget, did you have a couple of questions you just wanted to run through quickly with Jo before we carry on with any other questions from?
Yeah, thank you so much, Jo. Thank you for sharing your story. I just I've heard parts of it obviously before, and we've connected a lot, and I just am so grateful for your openness and how you share some of the most vulnerable parts. So thank you. So I was really interested to know if you mentioned about the journey, but I wondered, are there any regrets that you've had along the way? I know you said you wished you'd done it earlier. Is there any others that you want to share with us?
I think, my biggest regret is not doing it earlier. Yeah. Absolutely. It's one of my biggest regrets. But then I do think to myself too that if I had done this earlier, I don't know if I think my timing was really good for me to have had it when I did. And I think to myself that if I'd had this when I was a bit younger, and I've said this to my husband, I'm not sure that I would be with my husband. I think that I would have gone through this whole just like new person, new phase, craziness that I'm not sure would have kind of kept my husband and I together. So I think that timing was really good now, but I would love to have done it earlier. I think I think looking back now, I think I probably should have gone to the gym and done a bit more exercise, thinking about it now. But that's kind of like, yeah, sort of my two biggest regrets, I think, is that I didn't do the exercise part of it.
Okay. Oh, thanks for sharing that. And I know you talked about taking the different tablets that you're on. So did you find, and I'm thinking with the Protandim in particular, the size of it, you know, it's not very big, but given your issues, how did you find taking that post-op?
It did freak me out because it did look quite big. It's not big, but it did look quite big. And so I started, I cut them into quarters to begin with, and then I cut them into halves to take them. And I actually did that with all of my pills just to begin with, just so that I could actually just mentally prepare myself to take them.
Yeah, excellent. And I know we kind of chatted about it at the time, but just with the collagen, because it had that citrus berry extract, which, you know, helps maintain your collagen. But how did you find that post-op?
I found that I couldn't take it warm. I had to have it in the fridge cold. And the reason for that too is that, I did find it quite tangy. And so that's why I put it in the fridge. But in the fridge, it doesn't seem to have that same tang in the fridge. But also too, because it was in the right sort of size bottle for me as well, it was a nice respite from having water. Because when you're on this journey, you get sick of water, you really do, and you try and find different ways that you can flavour the water or anything like that, because one of the things that they also said is that we shouldn't be having fizzy drink to begin with, and I lived on sparkling water before the operation. So going into kind of no sparkling water for me was so hard. And then just having water. So then I had to kind of have water as well. And I found that quite difficult going through that. So for me, it was a nice little respite from having water.
Yeah, great. Okay.
Just to let you know too, that it's been 2 years. So in this last 2 years as well, I haven't drunk any alcohol. Alcohol is one of the biggest things that usually, you know, during the journey that people find out that they can consume. So one of the things that I haven't done was that I decided that I wasn't going to have any more alcohol. The other thing that I decided that I wasn't going to do too was I wasn't going to have any more coffee. And the reason for that is because I had that bacteria in my stomach. I researched it. And one of the things that could upset it and upset my stomach as well was coffee. So I decided that I wasn't going to have any more coffee either, because I really don't want to go through having those antibiotics again. So those are kind of two things that I've also cut out.
Yeah. And are there any things that you've decided, okay, well, this is what I'm definitely going to do or continue doing? Like with obviously you've got your bariatric supplements. Are there any other kind of things that are now I must do?
Well, yeah, just the bariatrics, the NRF2, the collagen, those are things that are just a must do every single day.
Yep.
And I've got to hit my protein and I've got to have my water, because I find that if I don't have my water, I end up feeling really dehydrated, and then I find that I don't have the energy that I should. So those are kind of the things that I do day in, day out. And I can't forget it, because if I do, it impacts me and I do get tired.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. And I found too now that I'm kind of, one of the best things I invested into was like one of those little bariatric plates off the Bariatric website as well. And so it has measurements on the side of it, so I could measure how much food I was having all the time. That was one of the best little investments. I still eat on it. 2 years later, I still use it to look at where I am with my food, because how you're having, how much you're having also has a big impact on how you're feeling. Because quite easily too, if I hit my fullness in my stomach, then it just comes back up, and then you end up with the frothies and all that kind of stuff, and it's not fun.
Joe, there's Bridget's got no more questions, but there's Esther's just put in there that she's She's scared to have the operation, although it's coming up early November, but to even try and have 2 weeks of shakes is obviously hard for her. Ken, do you have any advice for her, or any, what can you tell her to help her?
Yeah, so I did that as well. So I was 2 weeks on shakes, and I think I had something like 130 grams of protein or something that I could have. And it was really tough because he had given me, they say to you, we want you at this weight when you come in for your operation. And so he wanted me at 100 kilos. But when I went in for my operation, I was actually at 101. It was really tough going. I found that I liked the bars a lot more than the shakes. But do you know what I did too? Because then I was drinking coffee. What I actually did was I bought the mocha shakes, and I actually mixed my coffee in with the mocha shake. And then it became like a kind of a coffee shake, which was the only way that I could get it down. And I found that the bars were a lot better than the shakes for me as well. But it is tough, really tough, that 2 weeks on the OptiFast. I tried the other bars and things like that, but by far OptiFast was the best that I found. But it is really tough. What did she say? I'm a coffeeholic and currently have that pylori. So thank you for the fact that coffee is a gremlin. Yeah, it is. That's what they said to me. So I've not touched coffee, in 2 years. Even to the point now where the smell doesn't affect me anymore. But I've just decided that I just don't want to take the chance that I'm going to end up with a stomach ulcer or anything else worse from that bacteria. So, just brace yourself as well that if they do give you the antibiotics, it knocked me around, but that was my personal journey. So just bear that in mind. How did they find out that you had the infection? Did they do a routine screening of what you had before surgery? It actually came out, what they did with me is that what they do is when they take your stomach, they actually take your stomach away and they actually do tests on your stomach. And so when they do tests on your stomach, it actually comes back and it will tell you if you've got that bacteria. But it is in 50% of the population do have it. And so that's when they will tell you if you've got it, then they'll give you the antibiotics for it. One thing too that's really cool is that when you go in for the operation, they'll ask you if you want to keep your stomach, if you want your stomach back. So I said yes. So I went and picked up my stomach, and I'm allergic to rose. So I planted a rose plant out in our garden and I buried it underneath the rose plant. And so now when I look at it, I just think, yeah, I'm allergic to that, won't go near it, but it's got my stomach underneath it. So, that is something that, if you were keen to do, that is available to do as well.
Awesome. I think that is it for the evening. Yes, thank you so much, Joe, for coming on and sharing this information with us and just making the time to help help people. So we appreciate you.
No problem. It was fun to share, actually. I have really enjoyed it. Thank you very much. I actually enjoyed sharing. So I haven't really shared my story very much, just because it's only just kind of now that I'm starting to share my story, just because for me, I kept it quite private. And so it's actually quite nice to just start sharing it. Wonderful. But that's thinking about it, for me, it was the best thing that ever happened. So, you've got the support group is such a great group, the New Zealand Bariatric group, such a great group. Reach out to Michelle or myself or Bridget, and we're happy to help you through it and do whatever we can to support you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for jumping on and for giving us almost an hour out of your evenings. And I will be in touch for all of those people that have sent me messages. I really appreciate that. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies.